Hey,
Hello, hello.
how is it going?
Pretty good. You?
Pretty good. It's Friday. How is everyone? It's after Thanksgiving. Are your bellies still full?
Yes.
Filled with all the yummy things? What's the favorite thing you had this Thanksgiving, guys? Let us know in the comments.
Were you wearing stretchy pants?
Listen, everyone. I mean, these days you can get really nice stretchy ones.
Yes, exactly,
Like
exactly.
nobody will tell.
You could wear maternity clothes too.
Well, yes, that is true. We also wanted to tell you guys this is a pre-recorded live because we figured we also need a little break. And, so we're doing it pre-recorded. So if you have a question, we will be in the comment section. So we can, pop in there and answer your questions.
We'll be with you, kind of like how you're with us in the
Yes,
comments.
yes, exactly. So what are you doing today?
Oh. So yes, we just celebrated Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. You can tell us all about it, but now it's the heavy lifting. It's the big stuff.
Yes,
It's Christmas.
let's get real, right? Christmas
Right.
is in
And so we've got a month to kind of get our, stuff organized. So in today's tutorial, here, let me do my little camera dance. There and there. I am going to show you
oh, this
guys.
is so cute. I love it.
I'm going to show you
Did
guys.
you use your silhouette? You must have used your
I
silhouette.
did use my
Of course you
silhouette,
did.
and I'm going to share how I made this portrait little wreath thing. Now, obviously, this would be fun
This
for
is great.
Christmas,
I
but
love it.
anniversaries, birthdays, I mean, any celebration.
Graduation.
Oh, yes.
Graduation would be also nice.
Super.
Christening.
Yes. And well, christening the baby, yeah, you could. It's just the baby doesn't have like, you know.
Well, just the face, maybe. I don't know. Cute.
But yes, any occasion. The mother, yes, you could.
A
So,
foot.
so I'm going to show you guys how I
It's
did this.
adorable. I love it. But this is an older picture. Now Ryan is now, I think, taller than you are. So you're
It is an older picture. So here is the original photo alongside
oh,
what I
okay.
created. And so you can see it's a much abbreviated and edited version, but in the, I mean, it's a cookie. You can obviously, if you're artistically like, the ability to paint portraits is something completely, it's a skill that's, I think, pretty unique. Not that many people can
So
paint
did you do this
portraits.
in Procreate?
I did do it in Procreate. So in Procreate, I traced over, and I actually have a little video here of me doing that in Procreate. So I dimmed the photo, and you're tracing over it. So you could do it with tissue paper if you wanted. And so I'm tracing over the photo, and I'm just picking, like the sections, like the hair, the face, the shirt in general. And then I'm adding the black kind of outlines to give it kind of more of like a graphic, cartoonish kind of look, and then the stencil process, when you're creating stencils, that's a whole other lesson to create stencils. I do
Mhm.
have some videos on it, but you need to create bridges. This is what holds the parts together in a stencil. If you look at the fingers there, did you see on the right, I've added little white sections at the tips of the fingers, and that's so that the thing doesn't just fall apart. It's like it
Yes.
holds the stencil together. So if we watch that video again of me kind of making the sections, so we've got all the outlines to my family, but also the shirts, the pants. I've created kind of airbrush sections of the colors. So you want to, again, you don't want to have a lot of patterns, a lot of colors. You want to keep it simple. If you
Yes, I think that's the trick, keeping it simple. And I do like it actually without facial features. I mean, you could always go in and
could,
do
but
it with marker or something to make
this
it
cookie's 5 inches across, and the
five
smaller
inches.
you go, the less detail you can do, because
Yes.
even the stencil can't cut tiny little, like my husband's buttons on the shirt. That's very small. And
Also,
so
okay.
you
Okay.
want to
Yes.
look at the photos of the, the ones you'll be using, and look for stuff that's like the positioning, like the arms. You don't want to try to think of it as a stencil.
Yes.
So
Everyone who is joining us, thanks for joining us. This is a pre-recorded live, but we are in the comment section. So if you have a question, you can pop it in there and we'll answer the question. Okay.
Thanks for reminding me. I'm like, it's normal.
That's
Okay.
great. I mean, you are really like, you're such a pro. Excellent.
So it's just a round cookie. I did not have a 5-inch round cookie. So this is hand cut, and I'm adding just a white layer of icing. When you're airbrushing, a white base is pretty much essential because airbrush colors are translucent. And so if you look at the shirts there, I didn't do complete coverage. I kind of blushed it so you see a bit of the white. So if I had, let's say, a yellow background, well, the yellow would show through.
I do like that you didn't completely airbrushed it because it gives it more movement and just.
Yeah, it looks, I think, a little bit softer. And then these are just, these little cookies around are actually from a wreath that I did, a wood wreath project. And so you can add more than that around, but it just kind of finishes off the edge. You could obviously leave it out, but I thought it made it a little bit more like festive, but you could use a plaque or you could make it more like a frame, So
I love this idea. It's such a great gift. I mean, this could be done also with like pets. Imagine like you have dogs and horses.
Everybody loves their dog. So
that would be amazing.
All right. So I have a not a cookie. People in the cookie world know what a not a cookie is. So the reason I'm using a not a cookie is so that the stencil, when I put it on the side, sometime I'm using it doesn't like dip like that.
Oh, I see. So you're using it as your kind of
just to keep it straight.
Keep it. Mm-hmm.
Because when it dips, it lifts it up a little bit.
Now, if somebody doesn't have a not a cookie, what else could they use?
Geez,
something to maybe you guys can put it in the comments. What would you what else could you, maybe cookie cutter? I don't know.
Yeah, the 3D cutters sometimes are not that high, like the steel ones are high. So, and another thing I like to use is magnets to kind of hold the stencil in place. Okay. So this is the guidelines section. This is what I'm like, the outlines. And the reason I'm doing that first is so that I know where to put my colors. And so I'm just resting some little magnets on there. This is too big for my stencil holder. And I designed it to be curved. So I'm just bringing it towards the edge of the cookie, and I'm going to airbrush just these kind of like edge lines so that, like I say, I can know where to put my color section. So let's see, my airbrushes were being a little temperamental. Let's see if it.
Are you using your wireless?
I am.
So the airbrushes you use, you have them listed in your Amazon shop? Because people always ask about your airbrushes, the ones you use.
They are in the Amazon shop, and
so Marlene has an Amazon shop, guys. Those of you who are just joining us for the very first time, I don't know if you have a link here to your Amazon, but if you look up, oh, here we go. So this is
that's it.
Marlene's shop on Amazon.
And it's very affordable. It's not an expensive gadget. So, but you do need specialty colors. You cannot put gels in your airbrush, okay?
So, so no food gels, guys. You have to use airbrush colors. They are more liquid, right? They are more, yes.
So if you look here, I just shot a little bit. This is not black. This is called gunmetal, and it's a little bit less harsh than using a black.
Gunmetal, what brand is that?
It's Americolor. They have a gray set of
gunmetal. It's almost like, doesn't it give it like a greenish kind of like hue?
Yeah, I find that it's just not as harsh, like
as black.
The black is very, very harsh.
Oh, this is so hypnotizing. Like, it's very hypnotizing to watch. Like how you are revealing their silhouettes. This is cool.
So there it is.
What do you guys think? It's pretty cool, huh?
And the great thing is, let's say you were having some sort of a kind of a bigger party. Well, they're not so long to put together if you wanted to give them as gifts, you know, at an event or whatever.
I mean, this could be a wedding. I mean, you could. I mean, the endless possibilities, really.
If you're having now, people are having kind of, I think, fancier, smaller, more intimate events. You know, if you're having like a smaller wedding, you could, you know, or for the bridal shower, you could do that.
Yes.
So you want to wait briefly for this to dry, because when you rest your next stencil, if the color is not completely dry, well, you're going to smudge. So in the photo, my husband and I have gray hair. So I'm going to use actually that same color, but I'm going to just...
You know, you haven't aged a bit.
So I'm just...
As beautiful as you did. I don't know how many years ago this is, but...
I don't recall.
How old was Ryan here? I would say, was he 13?
Oh, I think he was younger than that.
Oh, you think he was even younger? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. So now I'm just aligning, and because of those outlines, well, I'm not upside down because he's on the right side. So I'm just positioning the hair, and I'm able to then come in with the same gray that I did the outline in, and just quickly kind of color in the section. Okay, so certain colors you can put back in the air. So if you're using, let's say, yellow, you can kind of spray it out and put green in. There's certain colors that you don't have to necessarily wash your airbrush to do. So for the next color, for the flesh tone, I'm using a color. So the flesh tone, obviously everybody's skin is different. You're going for kind of like, you know, a version of yourself or the people you're making. It's not, with the airbrush, it's kind of tough to get super accurate. I used copper for the other version, and I found
that's what I thought, that you would use copper.
It was, I thought, a little too orange, so I'm actually going to use a different color now. It's called blush.
Blush, okay. Do you ever mix your airbrush colors?
It's very difficult. I'll mix on the cookie, but it's very difficult to mix in the
actual
yeah, because you can't see it. It's like so concentrated that you can't even make out the colors.
Yes. We still have people joining us. Thank you for joining us today.
So now I'm just
pre-recorded live, just to tell you guys. You can post the comments and we'll answer them. We are in the comment section today.
So you can see it's not so orangish.
Mm-hmm.
I find that it's like somewhat more human skin tone, you know, like we're not Garfield.
Okay. Or Dora. Dora is right? Dora has like a very copper.
So there, you see, face. I find it's like more, so it's called Blush by AmeriColor. And
you know what I would like if you did? Oh, I love Abbey Road. So the iconic photograph of Beatles crossing.
Yes.
So I did that years ago using Stencil, but I think if you did it like this, it would be amazing because you could really like get a lot of detail on it.
And I'm just...
I like it the way it is even now. I mean, you could make it really like Christmassy, get like maybe a red border around or whatever. Well, you are adding the smaller cookies around it.
Yeah, this is just the very
nice
concept, and then you can go with it. So now I'm doing the hair for my son and daughter. So they have not yet turned gray, so I'll give them brown hair. My son Ryan.
When did you start turning gray? Can I ask?
What?
When did you start turning gray?
I was in high school. I remember my teacher teasing me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I was maybe, I think I take after my dad. My dad was gray when he was 30, so around 30, I think I started.
So I'm just putting this Post-it here to protect the cookie. And then there's the because I did want to use up like as much of the space with the stencil. So I have a lot of holes, which is not ideal, but this is a one-time project. If you were going to be making 100 of these, We'll obviously prepare the several stencils so that you can work more easily, but this is just for this, so I didn't want to waste my plastic. So now I'm just hitting the hair area with the brown.
So this is brown airbrush color, and for why are you using brown? Thankfully, they have the same color, right?
Yes.
And
even if they didn't, they would.
They would in this. Okay.
I'll have them. I'll say my daughter got her hair dyed. There. Okay.
Okay.
So there's the hair. So you can see it slowly coming together.
Fantastic.
It's a very angelic look now that we have all our outfits in white, but I'm going to slowly start adding some color. So here we're all wearing jeans. So that's the thing that's kind of good in, like the styled photos where everybody kind of comes wearing similar-ish outfits.
Yes.
You can kind of limit the amount
So
of...
what color did you use to do the jeans?
I used just a drip color. It's Azul Zafiro, whatever that means.
Wow, that sounds very sophisticated.
Yes. So I'm just washing out my airbrush here. It's tough while I'm on.
So how do you wash the airbrush? Do you spray it out into a can and then do you put water in? Then
yeah, I'm just putting
do you
water.
cover the nozzle and then bring it through the needle back into the cup?
Well, right now I just put the water in and I'm just shooting all the water into the trash until it's like clear.
Yeah, you always want to make sure that you clean the airbrush. You don't want to leave the color in the in the gun, because once it dries, it's quite difficult to clean. You have to then take it apart, basically.
So the amount of cleaning that you want to do depends on the color, so now it was a gray, so now I'm going to dark blue, so I don't have to scrub it, it's more.
If you were to do the yellow, you have to make sure that it's clean.
Yeah, it has to be cleaner. And now I'm putting the jeans on here, so I'm just kind of adding a line at the edge of the shirts. You see there's a shadow coming from right there, and then the edge of the pants to give like kind of the impression of more roundness. Now you can just do full coverage, but I find that, and here, this section between the pants there, I can see that it's bubbling up because of the wind. So the color could get under there, which causes underspray. Underspray means the color is going literally under the stencil. And so you're not going to get like a pristine surface around, okay? So we can see.
Oh, Jessica doesn't have the...
I made her pants a different color. I matched it with with Jamie's shirt.
Okay, I thought you forgot.
No. So I did it. I'm gonna go wash my. I'm covered.
Okay, she's covered in airbrush color. That's another thing. I always like to wear gloves when it comes to airbrushing because it just gets everywhere, and it's such a strong color. What is there something special you use to wash the color? I have read somewhere, and if I can I will the old-fashioned shaving cream.
Shaving cream.
Really? Yes, Barbisol.
Really?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's like the old-fashioned. It has, I think it's red and blue or something. It's like $1 or maybe
I've never
less.
heard that before, to use shaving cream.
Yeah. So that has saved me a couple times. But the airbrush color, it is very potent. It really is. It's so strong. So that's why I like to wear gloves. I usually get the color on when I'm opening the bottle or closing it. That's when it happens.
Well, this is a drip color, and I like the product. Their bottles are not good. And so whenever you close it, like literally it makes a splash.
It splashes like it's flat because of you closing the lid. So you have to cover the lid and then close it.
Yes, it's annoying if you forget. So here, let me look for the alignment. So this is my husband's shirt and my daughter's pants. So I'm again aligning everything. I've got see the knot of cookies there, because a lot of the stencil's hanging off, and that hang causes
And she can fit this into the stencil holder, so that's why this is right. That's why you're using it. If you could fit it in a stencil holder, it would be different. But this is a bigger cookie. It's 5-inch.
So that's it. And now I've got it's a lighter kind of blue, and I'm hitting my daughter's pants here, and I'll be doing Jamie's shirt.
And do you have any of the supplies for these in your coffee shop?
Well, yes, I do. I have a few days to put them in, so I'll do it.
Okay, so Marlon is going to have, she has supplies in her coffee shop. Link is on the screen, guys, so you can check it out.
So you
And
see,
you can also take advantage of the Black Friday.
yes, pop the slide we made up, man. Pop the slide up.
Yes. So let me just grab this. Okay, so we're running a sale in both of our shops, and you can use the discount code Cookie Lunch Break. Sale will end. Let me take this out so you can see clearly. A sale will end on November 29th at midnight. And we also have a 50% off discount code, but that's in our paid groups. And for Marlene, that's a group on Facebook, and for both of us, it's on Patreon. So I'm gonna pop in a link for the Patreon. So you guys can Patreon. This is Mars. So if you are a member or subscriber, check the Patreon, and you will get a secret code there. Don't share it with anyone. And you can use it in our coffee shop to get 50% off. And this is my Patreon. Okay. I will show the sale flyer later on before we finish today.
So this is now I just finished their shirt and my husband's shirt, Jamie's shirt, and Jessica's pants. So let's move that. You can see now.
It's awesome.
Another shift.
So the sticky note doesn't interfere with the airbrush color. Like once you airbrush it, it doesn't take it off. Like it doesn't lift up any color.
No. And it just holds in place. Like I don't need a magnet in those particular occasions because.
No, I understand. I would be always worried that it's going to lift up some of that color.
No. And so hold on here. Let me just position myself correctly. So now I'm doing the belt and her shirt, and it's in a gray kind of color. So.
And the stencil material you're using, this is Mylar?
It is a Mylar. It's a 0.4. I use thinner than what is many often recommended, and it just cuts better. The big issue often is that people can't cut through the plastic. They have to do several passes, and this plastic you can cut through quite easily.
It's 0.4. You're using 0.4 Mylar. It's clear, and it's in your Amazon shop also.
Yes, I'll add that as well. So now the last color. Oh no, what am I doing? I have 2 colors left. So my shirt and Ryan's shirt. So let me find that. So this is me there. So if you have several cookies, well, you can, run through all the shirts, all the pants, you know what I mean? So it's like less of the color changing. It's because I only have one now, so. And I have 2 of my airbrush guns that decided to be temperamental. So I have less airbrushes than I normally.
Really?
And this is a project exactly why I have so many airbrush guns, because imagine now.
Yeah, I was just thinking yesterday that I need to get the wireless one. I don't have wireless, and I've had it since 2013. The big one.
Yeah,
but I need wireless. It's just you can first of all, you can take it anywhere. You don't have to. Yeah, you can just put it in a bag, and it's with you.
Well, not all work areas have a lot of like plugs and stuff.
Yes.
If
here I have to put it into a transformator because I have the one. It's wired. It's wired for US.
Yes,
And
yes,
so
so
I have to put it in a the transfer, so that kind of creates the whole, oh, I don't feel like airbrushing because the prep to just get it working, it's pain.
So my last color is red for Ryan's shirt. So I'm just going to do my last kind of cleanse here.
Oh, we forgot to ask, guys, where are you watching from? Let us know. What's the weather like? Like I said, what was the favorite thing you had on Thanksgiving dinner plate?
Oh, and
yesterday?
did you go shopping today?
Oh gosh, Black Friday, yes. Or are you planning on shopping? Or I don't know, did you sleep or tent it out in front of the store? Does anyone do that?
Well, now you'd get everything online. The sales are online. No point in going in line anymore. Right?
Well, but for some people, it's just maybe the thrill of,
I guess, but you go online instead of in line.
Have you done Black Friday shopping ever?
And Hen, with COVID,
Well, no, not with COVID, but pre-COVID,
Yes.
You have?
I have. I did it one time.
But I mean, did you go at odd,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, did you?
Well,
Do you use your elbows and stuff?
Well, we actually went to a Walmart that was open 24 hours. And so what was different is, so the stuff's on pallets in the store, and at midnight or whenever the sale starts, they kind of undo the pallet. They don't open the doors.
So the pallet is kind of covered up, or it's
And so people kind of know what's in the pallet, so they stand by the pallet. And so when it opens, then they.
No, I've never really done that. If we did, we would go to get a certain item. Let's say we went to get a printer, but during the normal business hours, I never waited outside of the store or anything like that. I've learned a hard lesson not to ever travel to New York by car on Thanksgiving. That was the worst nightmare. Yes. It's beautiful.
Any kind of high traffic area is usually a nightmare. So if you see the pocket there, I actually created a stencil for the pocket. And that's just to demonstrate, let's say there's elements in there that you want to kind of airbrush differently or have more, because you can see here it's darker, so it stands out. So you can do that by cutting those little elements, shields specifically for those elements. And so there is the design. Now, if you wanted to have you could do a bead border, you could do a shell border. You would just leave yourself a little bit of room for that. But I want to show the other one. So the other one, while I was working, and the airbrush splashed on it, and so that's why I painted here, because I wouldn't. Well, that's it. I'm just saying that's the save. So I just added a bit of pigment in watercolor around it. And then I just did a dusting with the silver. You can see.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Or you could do blue around it. I mean, for the sky. But I actually do like the one that was, a fixed mistake or fixed, splatter. Looks good. And you did hair also. You did something to the hair.
So very fine marker. I kind of drew in some hair strokes if you want. And you can, add some plaid to a shirt with markers. You could add little flowers to a dress. You could add little details.
That's true. Yes, you can draw a tattoo.
So you can see these jeans are a bit darker, but you can see the different kind of look. I did add a bit of black shading on these. And you can practice on paper. Do your preliminary draft on paper. Once you like your colors and everything, then you can move on to
that is an excellent advice, I think. Yes, doing it on paper. And then, so if somebody wanted to do more than one, you would advise to have a couple of stencils ready, right?
Yes. And for sure, well, if have at least 2 airbrushes.
Yeah.
Ideally. And if you're going to do it painting, I mean, be ready.
You could just do the outline, right, and then paint the inside, the shirt and stuff.
You can't, because as soon as you touch that outline,
you touch the outline, it's gone. Yeah, that is true.
It will bleed, and so it's a difficult. This is an airbrush project, I have to say. I mean, I guess you could do icing sections, but the edges are not going to be as kind of defined.
No, it makes sense. No, I understand. Yes. No, you're totally right. Totally
So
ready.
that's it. So if you're looking for a custom kind of really, like that's a personalized, thoughtful gift for an occasion, there's a little idea for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll be sure to kind of get all the supplies that I used today, put them in a sheet for in the coffee shop, so you guys can check that out. And again, before hand starts, just a quick reminder, here's that discount code for our coffee shop. When you guys shop there, it really helps our channel for, we have different expenses for streaming the platform and all the supplies we use. So that really helps us out. So you guys can check that out. You're getting the templates and tutorials. We're not, everything in there is great projects. And what is it, a year's worth of different holidays.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to bring myself into the screen. Oh, I'm really, really dark here. Okay. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see. So, I mean, this is a popular, okay, let me switch this out. This is a project I'm sure many of you have seen during Christmas time, doing Christmas trees. Now, I just visited a local, okay, let me, instead of stars, usually we see this with stars, I use snowflakes. Now, reason I use snowflakes, I was at the store and there was a decoration and that looked just like that. It was to hang on a tree and it was made out of snowflakes. And I was like, well, darn, I don't have nesting snowflakes. I do have a lot of cutters and I'll show you some of my cutters right after. But then I went to the next aisle and what do you know? They had the whole set of nesting snowflakes. And it was only like €2, €1.90. So I had to get it, obviously. Oops, let me put this down here and I'll bring some of my snowflake cutters in the view here. So these are the cutters that I bought. These are the nesting cutters.
How do you resist those?
How do you resist? I mean, seriously, for €2? I mean, come on. So I was like, this was meant to be. It's a, it's a sign from above that I have to do it. So I have several boxes of these snowflake cutters. Some of them are old, some of them are, more popular, or I use them more often. I generally use some, you see raw rice in my box here. That just helps with moisture issues. You see, most of these are metal. These are not so much trouble, but the metal ones, they will rust over time if there is excess moisture in the air. So
sorry, but I'm hypnotized by your cutters. I'm sorry. I see a square snowflake and it's like dry. What is that?
Oh, what is the driving you crazy?
Like, how have I never seen that shape before?
What? Yes, you have. No, you have. You don't have it?
No.
Oh. You have this cutter? No, well, I don't know where it came from. Don't ask me this, okay? I haven't used it yet. That's pretty bad. I mean, and this is also, I like this one. I mean, I have a lot of cutters. Some of them are, this is, I think, the one we talked about a couple lives ago, where we were saying snowflakes wouldn't work for something, and you said that snowflakes can come in, kind of wide range of shapes, and this is also a snowflake, and this would be a really nice ornament that I've done in the past. Well, this is not necessarily snowflake, but I have it here.
So, Han, if you want to show, it's just, I think the thing we were discussing is breakage, so a sturdiness.
The breakage, yes. So this one, for example, because of the long arms, it's not ideal for shipping, or I wouldn't ship this shape. It's beautiful to give, and like if you have a friend that you meeting or something, or it looks beautiful as an ornament, but not necessarily for the shipping. This one is great for shipping, right?
Exactly.
This is in good shape for shipping. Then I have actually some of them. Oh, this is one. This is not necessarily snowflake, but this is a shape I use for the base of my Advent snowflake centerpieces. This set I actually have in a bag with rice, because this set, it's very, very old and I didn't use rice before, so it's already like a little crusted, and I didn't want to expose the rest of the cutters to that issue. So I always have to kind of scrub it really well before I use it. I might have to like dispose of it at some point.
My mother had told me, and I've done it, is you rub the ones that are prone to rusting with Crisco.
Oh, it's Crisco. Oh.
And so you're feeding, that's what she said, you're feeding the metal. And so it kind of like seals the issues.
Oh, that would, okay, I'll try that. Although those are not my favorite chips, although they are probably sturdy. Okay, so that's one box. Let me see the other box. Okay. I also have like mini snowflake cutters. I'm sure many of you.
Can I ask you a question, Han? So years ago, I remember you were an avid kind of garage sale type of a person. Have you ever ended up at a, like, you know, did you ever have a cookie cutter? Like, what were your big finds at these outings that you would go to? Because you would do this at weekends.
Yes, I love I did find some cookie cutters, odd shapes, but not snowflakes though. I don't know. Like now, I would find like odd house decor items. I did find small tart pans, which I was like, it was 25 cents for like six. I was like, yes, that's a score. You know, like they can be pretty pricey, and I still use them to this day. You know, the ones with removable bottom, but not the small ones. It was like a maybe. 4 inch or something, size. Yeah, like a decent size, which was really nice. I did find odd items.
You got cake stands.
I got cake stands, yes. Some of them I did bring here. Some of them I sold. If June is watching, she has some as well. Yeah, cake stand. I would find, you know, the vintage muffin pans with really cool designs on them. They don't make them like that anymore, and those I use for the photo as props. I don't really baking them, but they're really beautiful to look at. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like they're not flat. They have like some designs on them, and it's very nice to look at.
Yeah.
Yes. So these are. I actually did send you some of these. Do you have these? Do you have these? These are quite nice, I have to say. These three, I love these three because they're just so beautiful. And these are from Williams Sonoma, I think. So this is a really nice, and this is a good quality. They're pretty sturdy. Also, these are not very good for shipping. I mean, ship. Yeah. I mean, they're not like the greatest to ship. Maybe if you like do gingerbread, because gingerbread is a bit sturdier than I find a sugar cookie. So you should be able to, you know, ship these, or even my honey cookies. They do ship well. So you may want to check those out. That recipe is on the blog, and this is I have a variation of the one I showed. I mean, showed you. This one actually would ship well because the arms are not as big. Okay, so I have like this was from AC Moore years ago. So I had a lot of snowflake cutters, but I didn't have an nesting set. So
it was a perfectly justifiable expense.
Yes, I bought two for my sister-in-law. Sister-in-law. Hopefully, we'll see them over the Christmas, and she can use them. Okay. So now to create the nesting kind of a tree centerpiece, or what would you call it? It's a centerpiece, right? Or like a cookie decoration. Well, not a decoration. You can eat it.
So it could be a nice gift too. I mean,
yes, you can wrap it. Yeah. So I decided to use white on all my stars, snowflakes. And you want to use like a 15-second consistency here. So I'm gonna start with this one. Can you see okay? So what is your favorite shape for Christmas to decorate?
You know, I think it's probably a snowman.
Oh, is it snowman?
Yeah, I think the snowman he works for both children and adults, I find. You know, like you can make it kind of fancy in a way and still childlike. I don't know, there's something about it. And it's not necessarily just for Christmas because there are
I thought you were gonna say Santa, because you have like, I swear, like 2 dozens of
If
different
you look,
Santa.
I have a lot of tutorials as well of snowmen.
Yes, you do, but Santa is like. But okay, you like snowman.
I do. I mean, I don't know, there's parts in there, especially if we look at it, as teachers, right? If we look at it from like teaching how to decorate, you've got a lot of opportunities to do different things with the snowman. You can use different textured icing to do the scarf. You can
Yes.
add the face in so many ways. You can use sprinkles for the face. You can pipe the face. You can use blush if you want. You can skip it if you don't want. You can use sanding sugar. You can use sprinkles.
Yes, that is true. And it is, I actually do have snowman buttercream kit in my Global Belly shop, which is
Yes.
popular with the kids also, because it is an evergreen. Yes, I mean, I do agree. Snowman, it's a good, and it's also for winter, and you can make it for Christmas.
Well, you've made it also for summer. You've made the watermelon
Oh
version.
yeah, that's true. I did make it. Yeah, that's true. I made the watermelon snowman. Now recently, I've made what was it? Scarecrow for the fall. It just released on my YouTube channel, and I also made stacked pumpkins. So surprisingly, it's a contestant for your candy corn.
It is. It's a fun, and then you can recently I've been playing with cutting it up, and then you make little puzzles. You can, and it's an easy
Oh yeah,
shape.
that's what I want to do. Okay, so you want to ice your cookies, and now you can really get creative. You can use different colors, but for this design, you really, because we are going to be covering up most of the surface. So you really, if you decide to do any design, just focus on the ends. Okay,
Yeah.
because it will be pretty much covered. I mean, you could just add sanding sugar, or you don't even have to ice it with royal icing. You can just pipe some details. But again, most of it's going to be covered. You see, like, you only see the very ends. So those are those are going to be the focal point when it's all kind of put together.
You could dip.
You could dip also. You could also dip, and that's super easy. So you would ice all of your cookies, and then you have to let them dry. You could also use luster dust and other things. So here are some that I've had drying. I actually popped these into the oven at 50 degrees of Celsius. Somebody put in the comments, please, what's that in Fahrenheit? 100, 110?
No clue.
So that's the lowest that this oven goes on, this oven that I have here, but also I have another oven that only goes to 40 degrees of Celsius, which is even less. So I don't normally use it, but for whatever reason, it's been raining a lot. So it's very humid, and it takes a really long time for the icing to kind of like even crust. So I just put it in there to give it a fast crust. And then also I take it out so the baking sheet is still a little warm, and it kind of helps. But one thing I noticed is, though, if I do it more than once, the color tends to fade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I noticed it
Right.
on, yes.
In the case of white, it's not really an issue.
Yeah, in the case of white, I don't think you can get any whiter than that. But
you got a nice shine thanks to it.
Yes, yes. That's one thing, guys. If you're trying to achieve like nice satin finish on your royal, it is mostly because of the drying, right? How fast it kind of crusts, and also the presence of egg white. Egg white makes things shiny. You know, when the egg white itself dries, how kind of shiny it is. So
it's food varnish.
Yes. Well, you've used egg white to create crackle, no?
Yes, that's it. It was.
Yes, I remember correctly.
Yeah.
My brain is still functioning, although I forget what I did this morning, but I remember what you did a couple of years ago.
Yes.
So now I'm going to use, and this is kitchen sink blue.
What is kitchen sink blue? What color?
Oh my God, I just put like a couple blues that I had. I had sky blue, and I had like blueberry blue. I did the blueberry pies for Thanksgiving cookies. You can, those are, I think they turned out really nice. I have a tutorial on YouTube. And so I had that color, and that color was royal blue, purple, and black. So I used that, and then I added white and sky blue that I had. So this is like, whatever you want to call it. It's like little.
Use up your icing blue.
And so here I've got, this is a PME 1.5. We talked about this tip a lot because it's such a great tip for writing. They are on a pricier size. This runs maybe $5, sometimes more depending on where you are getting them. And now they are maybe even going to be more expensive. I don't know where they are. These are, I guess, made in England.
Yeah, they are. You'd think it would be a little bit less now that you're in Europe. Has anybody ever lost one of these in their garbage disposal?
Oh, yes. That's like, right? Like, I don't want to say losing a child, but it's terrible. it's terrible, right? Like when you do that, when that happens. All right. So now I'm going to, remember I told you that we're going to just decorate the very end. I'm also going to bring on my lovely pearls I bought. So these are Spanish perlas.
And did you do the bite test?
I did not, but it says it's ideal for decoration. It does. I think this is fully edible, I think, because it has sugar, it has flour, it has corn starch, I believe. It has some kind of colorants, glucose, something else, gelatin. And it has traces of, I don't know, this soy, I don't know, somebody.
I wonder how hard they are, because you said gelatin.
So I don't know. You want me to break my teeth now or later?
Do it. Do it.
Do it? You want me to break my teeth? I'm not gonna bite it. No, that's not. I'm not doing that.
It's very hard.
It's like it's like a
candy.
hard candy, you know?
Yeah.
It's not. Let me put this here.
Years ago, when I went to England several years ago, I had picked up sprinkles at the grocery store. Dr. Utker actually gold pearls, and it said on the bottle, soft bite. And they were like
soft bite. Well, this is not soft bite, but I don't think this is like this is actually, I believe this is edible. Like you can eat it, but like I wouldn't like bite it. I would just, you have to slowly kind of like suck it, or just let it dissolve. But yeah, okay. All right, so now because we are going to be covering up most of the snowflake with the snowflake that I'm going to be putting on the top, okay? I'm only going to focus on decorating this section, the points.
Did you put like risers in between? Like, do you have a small cookie in between, or no?
I did not. Yes, you can do that. You can put them, yes. So it would be kind of almost raised about the surface. I didn't do that. I'm just going to use icing, and it will lay flat on top of the cookie. But you can definitely do that.
It'll make your Christmas tree a bit tall.
It will make it a bit taller. That is correct. I also baked 2 of each shape. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5 shapes. So I baked 10. Okay, 2 of each sizes I baked to make it a bit taller. But you could just make 5, and it will make a little, like, it could be
it'll make a mountain instead of a
table setting or something. What?
So to make a bump instead of a tree.
Are you? Do you have artificial tree or real tree?
An artificial tree. And I had heard on the news that there was a shortage of Christmas trees, but we went in the country where Jamie's from, and there was plenty of Christmas trees.
See, I made a boo-boo there. Like it was I call it a pearl icing part. An air bubble. I'm not worried about that. That's going to be covered. So now I'm going to go around. Can you see okay? Oops.
Yeah. So what are your recommendations with regards to advance, kind of how would you undertake this so that, you know what I mean? Because it is kind of like a big project. If people wanted to gift this for Christmas, like what are your, kind of what can they do in advance to get it?
Oh, to get well, you can do everything in advance. Well, bake. What do you like? What do you mean? Like, well, you could bake your cookies. Oops. You could bake your cookies. You could freeze the cookies if you don't like, because it's a if you plan on giving more than one, it is a bit
Long.
long because of the amount of cookies that you need.
Well, yeah,
Um,
because if you're doing the tall version, that means each tree needs 10 cookies, right?
10 cookies. So that's what. So if you're doing, I did 3 trees, so that's 30 cookies. I did. I mean, they obviously get smaller and smaller. So um,
So I would actually
you
ice
can
them white.
hmm?
I mean, if I'm looking at it, I would do at least the white icing and then freeze them so that you get a little bit of a head start.
Yes, you could also prepare your dough ahead. Like if you really want to, you could prepare your dough and then make the cookies. And like Marlene suggests, maybe ice them white. You could just airbrush them later. You don't even, and like honestly, you don't have to do this part that I'm doing. You can,
Well, you
now
want
here, I'm going to add,
a little
now you
dot.
can do this after, you can actually do this after you build the house, your tree. I'm just gonna do it now. My little pearls. I just need to find my. I mean, I buy all these things and then they sit there, so I'm like, well, I might as well use it for this.
Absolutely. How often have you guys gone to the store, brought it home, and didn't even ever use it?
It looks so pretty in the store. It's like, oh, and it's even prettier in my cart. And on the shelf, I can look at it for 5 years.
Exactly.
No, so yeah. I saw these and I'm like, okay. And it comes like the bottle is pretty full. So yeah.
Those are good tweezers for it.
Yes, these are sewing tweezers. So I'm gonna set this aside, and then you have to repeat with all the
10 times.
cookies. Now I don't have them all decorated, so we would be here for a long time. But I'm gonna show you the tree
You made one for us.
that I made. Oops, hopefully it's not gonna fall. All right. So what you do, now you could also do this green if you decide to. It could be a real green tree.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, oops, this one is detached. Okay, so you see, I placed some icing on each cookie in the middle, and this is where you could do the filler cookie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you place it. You have to do individual cookie, one cookie at a time. You put the bottom, you align it, and then this is what it looks like. At the top here, it would be ideal to have maybe what would you guys put on? A star maybe? Or something, maybe a big pearl you suggested earlier, to finish the tree.
Oh, I'm trying to think of like how to finish the top. And if you get those Bell chocolates, do you know what I'm talking? It's like at Christmas, and then it would give like kind of like a good shape at the top.
Yes. You could also then like skip completely decorating. You could just stack them and sprinkle them with some sanding sugar for the snow. That would be also very pretty. You could do a lot of, and then maybe you don't even have to like use a glue, because then people can just come and they can just take the cookie and walk away.
Sprinkle the raw cookies with the sanding sugar and bake it on.
Yes, you could also do that. That would be also even faster. Yeah, you don't have to do if let's say you don't like real icing. You could also do this with buttercream. I have a good crusting buttercream on the blog, so you can spread some buttercream on the top, maybe dip it in sanding sugar and then stack them. without gluing them, and just have it on a plate, and at your party people can come and they can take a little cookie and you know.
Oh, super cute. Another thing is the sixlets, which I've talked about before.
Yes.
Which they make like balls, which would be great on this project because the sixlets are chocolate, so they're very nice on the teeth.
I've got some sixlets here.
So the sixlets are, yeah, they're perfect, and they come in all kinds of colors, especially now at Christmas, and they make really nice edible. Or look at that, how pretty that is. Those would be gorgeous on there, and those are all, you know, especially if you're the kids.
They're soft. It's pleasant. It's not hard on your teeth, and it's pleasant. You don't have to rush to the dental emergency.
Softer than an M&M.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. The coating on M&M is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree. So yeah, so this is a project that I wanted to show you guys. It can be as complicated as you want or as easy as you want. If you don't have snowflake cutters that are nesting, you can use a star cutter. You've done this project many times, I think, with the star cutter.
Yeah, the star. So I did it with colored dough. So I colored my dough.
Okay.
And again, it was super easy. I just added white royal icing at the ends and put sanding sugar and made it as simple as that, you know.
So you can make several of these, you know. Maybe you could even make these as, you know, from gingerbread and just use some white icing and make it as a decoration if you want. It could be a family project, or, you know, a memory making or baking project for Christmas.
So Han, how would you package? So now you've made it, you want to give it to
people. So I would use, what are those, the bags called? Help me out.
Oh, the gusset?
Gusset bags I would use. Or maybe you could use a small acetate box if you like wanted to get really fancy. Let's say you're making it, you know, for an event or something. But those, I would probably source those out early, you know, before, because you want to, if you want to display it in a it's ideal to have a clear packaging, so it can, you know, everyone can benefit from, oh, it's so pretty, it's not hidden behind a bakery box or something like that.
Yes. So very
nice. Also display it on a cake stand or
on a cake. Well, I would put it on a cake board.
Or cake, yes, small cake board. They also sell 5-inch cake boards. You could put it on a little cake board. I would probably glue it on a cake board with royal icing, because those tend to be kind of slippery.
Yes.
If you buy a cake board that has a white finish on the top, they do tend to, you know.
So I'm looking at it. So now I'm thinking cake board, clear. You can get rolls of the acetate, clear.
Yes.
Go underneath, bunch at the top.
Yep. Yeah, maybe nice bow, contrasting red bow in there.
If you do a nice bow, you can kind of like even do some ornaments at the top, so then you don't need a star on the top of your cookie.
Yeah, or maybe you can do a jingle bells. You know, you can. They sell them really cheap nowadays. You know, you can just wrap some, you know, silver, or depending on the design. So if you want to match, it could be silver or red would be nice also to break the kind of monotone tone of this.
Very nice. So
that's it.
So again, a little reminder, if you guys want to check out, we're having our little Black Friday sale. Han and I, the same discount code in our like separate coffee shops. So cookie lunch break until Monday midnight. So if you guys go shop there, there's all kinds of projects and you know,
templates and also recipes there, so you can take advantage of the sale. And it does help us with expenses for the lives and for all the supplies that we need, and you know, in baking and decorating.
And if you join our group, well, it's 50% off. So
yes, there's a secret code there
in the group, so you can check out our groups, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Look at that, we did pretty well. These guys, again, remind, this is a pre-recorded version, so please do not get mad if we didn't answer your question that you posted in the comments. In case we missed it, we are trying to be you know, in a comment section and trying to reply to your questions, but in case we missed it, that's why, because this is pre-recorded. So thank you so much for joining us today.
And we'll see you on Tuesday, and we'll be there.
It will be real.
We'll be there.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us.